All right, let's get to this story.
Yeah.
It was January of 2022, so a little over a year and a half ago. Abraham Montes left his job, clocked out, went to go pick up some firewood from a friend. Family was having a crawfish boil that weekend.
And what happened next changed his life. Here's a little bit of our coverage from 2022.
I'm real grateful for all the help coming from everywhere, from complete strangers.
Abraham pulled over on the Brazos Bridge on FM 1462 when he spotted a driver in trouble.
Well, I was like, man, I gotta do something because someone's gonna hit him.
Another woman stopped to help too, but then a car came barreling towards them. Without thinking, Abraham says he hugged the woman and took the impact, shielding her from harm. The woman walked away with a few scrapes. Abraham was left with a shattered pelvis, bladder, and needing 12 surgeries, the most recent to transfer skin grafts on his legs.
I really appreciate it, you know. A lot of people call me a hero, but, you know, I'm just trying to do the humanly thing possible, which is try to help.
It will be a long road to recovery. Abraham will be out of work and face thousands and thousands in medical bills. And it was and still is a long road to recovery. We are lucky to have Abraham Montes joining us now over a year and a half after this heroic act nearly cost you your life. Thank you so much, Abraham, for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me and giving me this opportunity to share my story with the audience.
Oh my goodness. So you just said that said 12 surgeries, but now you're at more than 30.
Yes, ma'am. I've had over 30 surgeries and I have another one at the end of this month.
Okay.
So hopefully it's my last one.
What were some of the injuries that because there was a whole list?
Well, the main ones were a shattered pelvis, ruptured bladder and ripped urethra, and a parochidical window, which was fluid retention in my heart, and a laceration on my leg, which I was losing a lot of blood.
Now, the one with your heart, that's maybe the scariest.
Yeah, that was the reason that they had to put me into emergency surgery and operate me for like the whole 24 hours after the accident.
How are you feeling, like emotionally after all of that, kind of looking back on everything that happened?
I mean, I feel pretty good, I've always been a helpful person. I always think about safety and stuff like that, like at home and even at work. I always have the thought in the back of my head, I want my coworkers to go home the same way they came to work. And even at work, they at the plant at W.A. Parish, we have a safety meeting, tailgate meeting at every shift, and at the end of it, they're always like, work safe, so I always have that in my mind.
Yeah.
What do you remember about that night, about pulling over, about what you saw that instinctively you said, I need to help this person?
Well, it was already getting dark, and I was going over the bridge, and that car was a little black car. It was stalled at the top of the bridge where it crests over, and it was raining, and it was dark at that time. So I almost hit it myself because the hazards weren't on. So I swerved out the way and parked the truck at the bottom of the bridge, had my hazards on, and I went up there because at that time the airbags were deployed and the front of the car was a little caved in. So I was just making sure someone, or if they were all right. But when I got up on him, he was out of the vehicle. He was okay. He was the only one there. And then his coworker pulled over, and I was talking to her, and I had my back turned when I was talking to her, and I heard another car coming over the bridge, like speeding. And what happened is that car hit the stalled car, and that car launched into us. The original guy, he fell over the bridge, but I pretty much like protected, shielded the woman behind me and took the impact right here. And like, I never blacked out or anything. So I felt it all,
Yeah.
I tried to get up and I couldn't move my legs or anything like that. My stomach was real hot, so I was bleeding internally. I thought I was gonna pass away. There were some other bystanders that stopped, and when they got up on me, I was still inside the front clip of the car, so they had to pick my legs up and pull the clip of the car out of me. And he asked me like, how many kids do I have, trying to keep me, conscious and stuff. So he called my wife, and I talked to her and my kids. I told them I loved them and stuff like that, because I thought I was gonna die right there that day.
Yeah. And then I'm sure that you were constantly thinking of your family in that moment on the way to the hospital. And then when you woke up and saw them, what was that like?
Well, before they put me to sleep, they rushed me to the emergency room, and they actually put a metal girdle around my waist to bring my pelvis back together. And they also had to put like some kind of rod in my leg to pull my leg out from my pelvis, because it was all like jumbled together. But my wife got there, they let her inside the emergency room because ultimately they thought I was gonna die. So she was there before they put me to sleep, and she held my hand through most of it.
Yeah. What about the medical staff? What do you say about those folks?
Oh, they saved my life. I mean, they took me to the medical center, and it's known for what they do. So I'm real grateful that they were able to save my life, and I'm here today talking to y'all about it.
Yeah. What has kept you going through all of the surgeries, all of the, I'm sure, physical therapy?
Well, my wife and kids, like, the day after the surgery, the doctors came in and told me what they had to do, and they told me that you'll be able to walk again, you'll be able to do everything. You're lucky that, you had fractures, like 10 fractures in your lower back, but they didn't cut all the way through, so I wouldn't be paralyzed. So from that day forward, I was like, I need to get back to my kids. I need to get back to my wife. I want to play with my kids, have memories with them and be there for them, because I didn't want them to grow up without a father, or like me be unable to do stuff with them.
We get the sense you're the kind of guy who, in a situation again in the future comes along, you're always going to want to help somebody. Practically speaking, is there anything you would have done differently in the rain, dark night on a bridge that maybe will help somebody in the future that has that same instinct like you and says, I need to help?
Well, I mean, everybody helps in a different way. I'm still going to be the same. I may not put myself in that kind of situation again and, risk my life, but I have to stay here for my wife and kids. But I will help. I'll pull over and I'll call on the phone, but I'm not going to put myself in that kind of situation again. Right. But I'll still help, Right. I believe in helping people. People helped me when the car hit me, so, I'm grateful for that, and I'm going to teach my kids to help, and that's how I'm going to raise them too.
Okay, well, we have a special treat right now. Your beautiful family is standing by. Your adorable children, 5 and 4?
Yes.
Your son and daughter and your beautiful wife. They're going to come over and give you a big hug. What do you say to people that say you're a hero?
I don't really want to claim that. I'm not a hero. I just think I'm a good person, and we need more good people in the world, because everyone's just stuck on their phone. They don't talk to one another, and it's just, I want people to help more people around.
That's
Living
the message.
by example.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Oh my goodness. Who's this?
Abigail.
Abigail, and she's 5.
She's 4.
Oh, 4. Okay. And then what's your son's name?
Adrian.
I'm 5.
Oh, you're the one who's 5. Aww.
Proud of their daddy.
So proud.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Abraham and Martha, for joining us
Thank you guys
this
both.
morning
Really appreciate
and for
it.
spreading that amazing message. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.